So, Smackdown. This was just above average. I'd say we had some new developments. The long-awaited tensions between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu seem to be simmering. Lots of people have been waiting for this. We have an interesting moment between Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Jacob Fatu. We finally get a hint of what the Wyatt Six may be planning next. We get Nia Jax getting the chance at the Women's Championship as she faces Tiffany Stratton. We get a pretty awesome triple threat Elimination Chamber qualifying match with Damian Priest, Braun Strowman, and Jacob Fatu, and it ended unexpectedly, or at least I did not expect the match to end the way it ended. We also get a couple pointless matches and a strange segment with The Miz. Overall, this SmackDown was better than previous episodes of SmackDown. But overall, I don't know why I feel the excitement regarding the road to WrestleMania is just not like it was last year. It seems as if we are not getting something that has been planned out properly, and more like we are getting something that the WWE is putting together in a rush at the last minute, perhaps due to some unplanned circumstances forcing them to change things, every now and then. So I have a few things to discuss. Let's just get into the bigger developments on SmackDown, such as the matches and the promos that we got, and how all this perhaps fits into the bigger picture of things. It's confusing, it really is these days. So we start the show with Cody. That's our first promo segment of the day. He starts off by talking about the potential WrestleMania opponents who he could face and lists those taking part in the Elimination Chamber match. So far we have Logan Paul, CM Punk, John Cena, and Drew McIntyre. He gives a nice introduction to all those who have qualified in the match thus far. However, he doesn't really mention Drew McIntyre with the same level of enthusiasm. He just says, and Drew McIntyre. Cody also mentions the attack by Solo Sikoa he faced last week. He pushes Solo aside basically by saying how Solo has no right to the championship match. He has been gone for quite some time and won't be in the Elimination Chamber match since there is no qualifying match for him to be a part of left. There's only one qualifying match left, and that's on Raw, which has Seth Rollins going up against Finn Balor. Drew comes out to the ring to confront Cody Rhodes. We get a back and forth where Drew expresses how Cody seems to underestimate him and introduced him like an afterthought. Cody sarcastically introduces Drew again with more enthusiasm, which just irritates Drew even more. Drew lists his achievements. It's a pretty impressive list of achievements, no doubt about that. Cody admits and also mentions how out of the few that have defeated him in the ring in the past, Drew is one of them. Then, Jacob Fatu comes out, accompanied by Tama Tonga. So Jacob Fatu, as we know, is a heel, but the crowd loves him. This goes to show that he has a unique persona. He is real. He is a no-nonsense guy, and people love that. Fatu focuses in on Drew McIntyre. In his typical gangsta style, he says how he has all the gas, no brakes, and he'll dog-walk Braun and Priest in the qualifying match. Then he will win the Elimination Chamber and will head to Mania for the championship. He makes it clear that he is bringing the WWE Undisputed title back to his family where it should have always been. Drew says how the audience would probably love seeing the two of them get at it, but he is already qualified for the Elimination Chamber, so that won't be happening. He exits after teasing the audience. Now Fatu and Cody stare down each other. Fatu circles Cody. Cody says when Fatu qualifies for the chamber and wins the match, then the two of them can fight over the title. This is when we get a video on the screen. Solo Sikoa has arrived. Cody is about to walk to the back, but Fatu stops him, saying if anyone is talking to Solo Sikoa, it's him on family business. To this, Cody says Fatu can have the first word, but he will have the last. Jacob and Tama Tonga storm to the back. So, this segment was pretty good, but basically Drew, who seemed to earlier walk the path of the Bloodline Hunter, is now focused on the title. All his previous distractions are behind him. Meanwhile, Jacob Fatu is being pushed big time, and we see some conflict between Solo and Jacob. Overall, a decent segment, uplifted by Drew McIntyre and, of course, Jacob Fatu. Honestly, Cody Rhodes is just kind of there. I feel often sometimes when one is a champion, there isn't much that their character can really provide. Either way, good segment. So Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga are searching for Solo Sikoa. In the meanwhile, we get the United States champion Chelsea Green versus Naomi in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Long story short, Naomi wins and qualifies. Decent match. Kinda weird that the United States champion is losing like this. Just like how oddly the Intercontinental champion Lyra Valkyria lost on Raw to Bayley. Kinda hurts the value of these titles, does it not? I may make a separate video on this. We get an emotional video of Sami Zayn expressing how he feels betrayed by Kevin Owens, who hit him with a packaged pile driver last week on Raw. Later in the night, we get Kevin Owens' response. What's interesting is that you can easily be convinced with the perspectives of both these individuals, at least at some level. So there is some sort of nuance, and it's interesting, right? I like that. So basically, we are getting Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber. So that means we won't be getting that match at WrestleMania, which a lot of people felt, actually, that would be the WrestleMania match, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. We get Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza. I like Motor City Machine Guns. Basically, they win. Good match. Nothing else to say. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga find Solo Sikoa. For the first time, we see Jacob Fatu expressing anger towards Solo Sikoa. Solo apologizes and basically says how he is back to take charge again. However, since Solo has no power, he needs to support Jacob Fatu, who is going for the championship. I don't think a tribal chief Solo would be okay with that. Solo also knows that if he gets on the bad side of Jacob Fatu any further, that could mean trouble for him. Interesting power dynamic here. I can totally see Jacob Fatu taking charge eventually. And he did not say, "I love you, Solo." It's interesting how the WWE is playing with that. In fact, Solo said, "I love you, Jacob Fatu." But Jacob did not react to that. Jacob did not react at all after finding Solo Sikoa, except his first approach. I wonder where we're going here. We have a very odd moment where Shinsuke Nakamura comes out to the ring. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what he was saying until LA Knight came out and basically somewhat responded while repeating a bit of what Nakamura said. Then after that, The Miz comes out. Very odd. I actually completely agree with everything LA Knight said. The Miz needs to go. I mean, yeah, okay, he's a Hall of Famer, I get that, but he's done. Let's be honest. He had his time, but he is past that. This segment is sure to have stung The Miz, I believe, because even he knows that is true. It's a pretty personal segment in a way, but it was just kind of pointless. After this, we get this pointless match of LA Knight versus The Miz. LA Knight wins, and we are basically exactly where we were even before this segment. Just LA Knight and Nakamura, the former champion and the new champion. No other players. Don't know, I mean, like I said, a pretty pointless segment. We get a little tease of the Wyatt Six finally. They've been gone for quite some time. I made a video on that. So this happens during a segment where Alexa Bliss is chatting with Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Basically a filler where Alexa Bliss tells Nia that if she beats Tiffany Stratton, then they may see each other at WrestleMania. Now to the second pointless match of the night. Carmelo Hayes versus R-Truth. It's sad that R-Truth is just this comic relief character. He has nothing else. I mean, I guess everyone can't have something significant, but it's still unfortunate. Basically, Carmelo Hayes gets the win. A quick match. Kind of like a squash match, but without a monster. Carmelo Hayes also doesn't really have much of a direction right now. It's sad because he's a great in-ring performer. I just wish there was a story attached to that. Tiffany Stratton defending her championship against Nia Jax was a good match. You could feel Stratton struggle throughout the match. I just found it odd that Candice LeRae got involved when the ref was not distracted, leading to a disqualification. Felt strange that Nia wasn't upset about it, since, she clearly had the edge for most of the match. Yeah, Tiffany was giving it her all, but that felt off. I thought Nia might get pissed at Candice LeRae. That would have been interesting, but nope. Either way, a bulk of the match was good. After the match, Tiffany is beat down. Then Charlotte Flair comes out and basically tells a fallen Tiffany that she chooses her at WrestleMania. So it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I'm on team Tiffany Stratton. We had some backstage moments, but I'm just going to jump to the main event. It's Damian Priest versus Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. This was a fun match. Considering it was a no disqualification match, though, it didn't seem as crazy as I expected it to be, but it was nice. Triple threat matches can be unpredictable, and I like just unpredictability, and quite frankly, I did not expect this outcome. Solo interferes in the match by giving Strowman a Samoan spike. After that, Cody Rhodes comes out. We have a moment where Solo inadvertently gives Tama Tonga a Samoan spike when Cody gets out of the way. This pisses Jacob Fatu off. Interesting developments here, what they're trying to do. Ultimately, Damian Priest is at the right place at the right time, and he gets the win. Then Cody joins him in the ring and they shake hands. So it's difficult to assess this SmackDown. We got some developments, but mainly I feel the main event, the Jacob Solo dynamic, and the Women's Championship match basically saved this episode to a large extent. Is it just me, or does the road to WrestleMania seem all jumbled up? Kind of like everything is everywhere and just interconnected with no clear path. I kind of feel that way. We may have some great matches, but in terms of story, there isn't really anything that pops out. Like, for example, Jacob versus Solo Sikoa is nice considering the history, but it's not really WrestleMania caliber, right? Because Solo, honestly, is not at the same level as Jacob Fatu. He's lost too many matches. If we were to have a bit of a more decent build-up towards WrestleMania, then I think Jacob versus Roman could be a WrestleMania caliber match. But then we have Seth and Drew angry with Roman Reigns. We have CM Punk angry with Seth Rollins and vice versa. Everything just seems tangled up. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that situation. So that's that, guys. Do subscribe to my channel, like, share, check out the rest of my content on my channel. Until next time, peace out. Bye.